Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy TJ Tyler Johnson once again, here to show you a tutorial. Well, my next video is going to be a tutorial. This is not a tutorial. This is just to show you the finished product of what I've already did, because I should have made the video while I was doing it. But I have two more pair of gloves, so I'm going to make two more pair of slider gloves to show you an alternate way how to make slider clacker gloves with sparks. Let me just go ahead and show you guys some of the gloves that I previously made, just to show that I'm legit. All right. This is pair number one. This is the first pair of slider clacker gloves I ever made. I made these probably about, I think, a little bit over a year ago. Probably made these last September. They're ripping a little bit. You can see my fingers coming through. I slided on them pretty well. You can see the slider marks from the pavement. But these are slider clacker gloves. These are without sparks. Sorry, let me get my glove on. Sorry, these are without sparks. This is just your normal, average, everyday slider glove, clacker glove with no sparks. You got the fingertips. Like I said, this is the first one I ever made. You can see on some of the fingers, they're a little like crooked and uneven. Still click pretty well. All that. Got the clacker gloves. Got the plates for sliding. Normally, when you make slider clacker gloves, for usually what I was experienced from all the gloves I made, usually like these four washers are okay, and those are good enough to slide. You probably don't really need these two. I would probably just slide these last two right here, probably just slide them down a little bit. Now, it would probably work better. Like I said, these are old. I don't know if you can tell, these are ripping up a little bit right here at these washers. Same with these ones. Like I said, you saw the hole. They're peeling up right at the bottom washers. So for my suggestion for that, I would probably just slide these washers down just a little bit, so that you don't even need those two at all. If you slide them down maybe an inch or so, you could probably eliminate that whole last set of washers. Like I said, these are my first set of clacker gloves I made about a year ago. They worked nicely. They worked well. They clacked pretty well. But like I know you guys are looking for next level. You guys want to see the clacker gloves, the spark, and all of that, which is understandable. That's what's popular nowadays at haunts. You go up, somebody slides up to you. It's not so much just sliding anymore. You want to see some sparks or something else, some other kind of theatric that goes with that, sparks or smoke or something. And I completely understand that. It's not a problem with that. Let me go ahead and show you guys another pair of clacker gloves I made. I made these ones this year. Here you go. These ones slide and clack very well. These ones do not have a strap on the bottom. Like I said, it's your preference of what kind of gloves you use. I went to Menards out here in Columbus, Ohio, and they have probably 100 different pair of gloves you can choose from. I chose some that had some neon so that when I go inside the haunt, it will be glowing in 3D and be pretty bright. I did spray paint them black a little bit so it wouldn't be as bright, but you know what I'm saying? When I go inside the haunt, that orange glows pretty bright. Let me slide these on for you real fast. These are probably the best pair of clacking gloves for the clacking aspect. These clack very well. I went once again. I went with the 6 washers. I use a slightly smaller diameter washer. Inner diameter, as you can see, the inner diameter is a lot bigger. The outer diameter is a lot smaller. But they are pretty thick though, so they work just as well. Like I said, I probably could deal without these last two. Could have just did it with just four. But for my preference, I like, I'm a crazy slider. I'm a good actor, so I like to get all up in your face. I like to do a lot of extra sliding, so I like to have those extra washers there. 'Cause I like to do a lot of extra theatrics and tricks and stuff when I'm sliding, like as of spinning around and certain stuff of that nature. So I put these last two washers on there just to be basically a security blanket. But these clack pretty well. Let's say any haunt, those will clack very well for you. These also do not spark. Now let's get to the piece de resistance. I have another pair of gloves exactly like this. They are, instead of neon orange, they are neon yellow. They're exactly the same as those. They do the same exact thing. Like I said, those are the first pair I ever made. So let's get to the sparks. That's the piece de resistance. So for this one, as I've been saying, as I've been stating all the gloves, like I'd rather go with 4 than 6. These ones, I just made these 2 days ago. These ones only have 4. I slid them down just a little bit more, just so they stop just above my wrist. So when I tighten them up like that, I'm gonna put the strap on just above my wrist, the bottom of my palms. This is at the very bottom of my palm. So when I put down and slide down, I have full contact with that bottom washer. And from what I've noticed from sliding too, you get a lot of contact from this washer, that washer, and that washer. Usually this one might get a little bit around the top, but usually does not get as much as the rest of them just because it's inner of your thumb. And when you slide, usually your hands are you have a little bit of muscles in your hands, so it kind of keeps you up a little bit. So you usually don't slide on this bottom half of this washer, is what I've noticed. You can see from a lot of my other washers, you can see the same thing. Like on this bottom part of the washer, you don't really slide on the inner thumb. But you do slide on it, so of course, if you have your hands flat, you will slide. But like I said, this set right here, this has these sparks. This is my second set. I made a set just like these probably about 2-3 weeks ago. They had the same thing. It was all black glove coming from my costume. I work at 13th floor Columbus. They don't like you to have too many other, brands and emblems and stuff represented. So I try to go with something all black. From a distance you can't really tell, but obviously up close you can tell these are mechanics gloves very clearly. But there's really no way to hide that since it's already all black. But this is where the sparks come in. In the fingertips, I'm not sure how well you can see that. In the fingertips, I actually have fire starters. Same stuff you would use to, put it down and scrape off and try to start a fire. That's what I have exactly in my fingertips. I know in a lot of other videos they show Sparker gloves and Clacker gloves with the razor scooter whole thing right across here. Big blocky razor spark thing. That is very cool. I do like those very much. I have made a glove with those on it. But from my experience from the characters I've played, when I have that big clunky, big plastic thing with all of the sparks on it, all right here on the top of my hand, and I have it on both gloves, it's very hard to hold props and hold extra equipment. So this is my method of doing sparks. Is right on the fingertips. It's not in the palm. But if you do the razor scooter, you would know. If you've seen videos where people have made those, you would know that in the palm right here in the first upper two washers, there's a big plastic thing with all these flintstones basically on it that make sparks. You glue it on your gloves just like how I would have glued just like I would have glued the top two washers. It would have done the same thing. But instead, like I said, I grab a lot of props. For my prop at 13th floor, I have like symbols and I have a pipe I can use. I also use like air horns and stuff. So it's hard to grab all that stuff when you have a big plastic thing right here. This is about as far as you can get your hands when you have that big plastic thing. But the way I have done it, you can full grip on anything. Nothing's in the way. But what I've done is there are holes. This one does not have a fire starter in it. There are holes in the top of each one of these half angle conduit connectors and half-inch 90-degree angle half-inch 90-degree angle conduit. Oh my God, I cannot talk. Half-inch 90-degree angle conduit connectors. There are holes in the top. I've slightly drilled them just to be a little bit bigger for the flint sticks to fit, and then I've glued them in there with E6000, and it gives a really nice effect. When I'm haunting at the 13th floor, I like to slide up right on the curb of the sidewalk, and I like to run my hands. You say this is the curb. Say this would be the curb right here. I slide up and I drag my hand across the ground, and it makes a really bright, nice spark, and everybody's like, ooh, whoa, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not expecting it. But also, if you walk up to people and just, you know what I'm saying, and spark your hand across the ground is that way or this way, that way, you just not a whole palm, it's just fingertips. It works very nicely. The only downside to this type of glove is that you probably have to change these every 2 nights. They wear this. These are Flintstones, like these are fire starters. They wear down pretty easily, but I feel like they give a better effect than the ones they do in the palm. Like I said, because you don't have to drag your whole palm across the ground. It's fingertips. You can do it 1 finger, wow, 2 fingers, wow, 3 fingers, wow. And it's gonna make sparks every time. 4 fingers, wow, or even more sparks. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice effect. But if you were looking for big sparks always all the time, I probably would go with the Razor scooters. But this is just an alternate way. They still clack pretty nice. Still clack pretty nice and make a nice noise. Still can slide with them even if these were to fall out. Like I said, mine are glued in with E6000, so they probably will not fall out until I pull them out with pliers and everything. But what you will notice if you do it like this is when you slide, you can see the side profile, they stick out a little bit. They'll flatten down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They'll be pretty flat and flush with the rest of the metal piece of the glove after a day or two of sliding around with these. But they're pretty easy to change. If you get a couple fire starters, I think I did this all with 1 fire starter. You place it in the glove and break it off. You break it off in 4 or 5 sections, and it's perfect size. What I've been doing is changing my fire starters every night. I usually don't like to wait 2 weeks, so as soon as I'm done sliding, after I'm done acting, scaring for a night, I come home, I take a pair of pliers, I grip onto whatever's left to grip onto these, pull them out, put some glue in there, slide another one in and let it dry overnight. Then when I come back to hunt the next night, scare the next night, it's ready to go. I knew for a lot of people that's probably a lot of maintenance. You might not want to work that much. That's why I would suggest the Razor scooter ones. Those probably last you about a month or so. You know what I'm saying? Last you a couple weekends. It will last you a while. But for my character and the stuff I do, it's not practical because I cannot hold any of the props or any of the appliances and stuff that I have in my hand, and it makes it very hard to act because I cannot hold on to anything that I have. So I've re-engineered it to be just in the fingertips. I still have my whole palm. I can grab onto anything, pipe, bat, axe, chainsaw, whatever, and it works. But I will be coming back later with a tutorial showing you from start to finish process how I make these. I do have 2 more pair of gloves. You know, say I have an impact pair of gloves that are padded on the back side. Those are nice. You know what I'm saying? If you're like a very active performer, those are very nice for you. And I have just a regular pair of black gloves. I'll probably have to black the back out. Like I said, they like black gloves more so than something with logos or labels on it, so I'll probably have to black the back out of those. Second pair of gloves, but I will be making another pair of videos of how I make the slider gloves, slider clacker sparking gloves. These do spark very well. It's very light outside. I don't know if you see it. It's very light outside. So if I go outside and try to spark them now, it wouldn't do any justice because you wouldn't be able to see how bright and how nice the sparks are. But once I make the other pair of clacker gloves, I will take those outside for you at nighttime and let you see how bright and how well these actually work. In my opinion, they work well. I've been sliding for this is my second year really sliding. Last year I slid the whole season, the whole October season, but I didn't have any sparks. This year I wanted to add sparks because people seem to love sparks. Like when you see sparks and bright lights and colors at night, it seems to add that extra scare factor that you might want. But hopefully this tutorial may give you some ideas or maybe something else, maybe some other ideas to try out. If you make slider clacker gloves, I can make a pair for you if you were to send me some money or whatever, however you want to do it. So I'm thinking about starting my own business, but I'll make a pair for you if you need it. You tell me what type of size gloves you need and all that. I'll get all the metal pieces, I'll get all the washers, I'll get all the fire starters, and I'll do all that, and I'll put it together for you, and I'll ship it to you. I work for FedEx Ground. It's pretty cheap to ship, you know. For me, I get a discount. So you let me know. Once again, my name is Tyler, and I hope you liked my tutorial with the slider clacking gloves with the sparks. This was not the video that showed me making them, but very soon, within the next week or two, I will have another video up showing how I make these exactly. And so hopefully for the end of the season or maybe next season, you might have some slider clacker gloves that spark for you and do exactly what you want to. Thank you very much for your time, your patience with me. I know I talk a lot, but I just want to show and share what I do and how I do it with anybody else out there that's curious enough to know how to do it. Period. So once again, my name is Tyler, man. Hit me up. Message me. I got you. Peace.